Hey there, rock stars. You all know that marketing and sales are super important. Like, you know how important that is, but have you ever wondered why it's so hard to find help in those areas? Well, the main reason is because as leaders, we're not really trained on how to do marketing effectively. So we usually hire other people who we think are going to solve it for us, and they don't. Today, I'm so excited because we're going to talk about how to solve that problem with Alexis Krisay. Alexis Krisay is the CEO and founder of a company called Vamped. She's owned a marketing company for decades, and she is an expert. She breaks down how to train people in marketing, and specifically how to use that for virtual assistants. She has a program that people can subscribe to that basically do all the training and create a community for virtual assistants to help them be experts at your marketing needs. So if you ever thought, man, I just really wish I had a grip on marketing, but I don't want to do it, this is the episode for you. Let's dive in. Alexis, I'm so excited to have you on the Willpower Podcast today. How you doing?
Good. I'm so happy to be here. I've been looking forward to this day like all month.
Yes. So I already did the introduction. People know how I know you. Let's get right into you setting the table of who you are, like what you love doing and why you're doing it.
Awesome. So I'm Alexis Krisay, and I've owned a marketing agency for 18 years. But I started Vamped within the last year, and I'm so passionate about it, Will. I've been training and coaching people throughout my career, and now we train, coach, and support remote assistants all over the world.
Yes, in marketing and personal assistance. This is a great need right now. People are desperately looking for support in getting new clients. And you do a lot of different domains. It's not just in healthcare, but since we work together, you have had your foundation in healthcare companies, whether it's wellness spaces, outpatient practices, PT businesses. That's really where you bred this business from the beginning.
And I love it because it's such a need. Yeah. Because most healthcare businesses, doctors and functional wellness, they're so smart in their trade, what they do, but they're clueless in marketing. They're clueless in the operational structures, how to implement things in their business. So they need that support, and we're so happy to offer that because we've worked in the healthcare space almost since I started Serendipity. So
yeah, Serendipity. Let's go into that because let's go into your origin story. I want to hear about your marketing background because you are an expert. I've known you for, I think, well over a decade now, and now you're doing this thing where you're pivoting into helping Serendipity, this company you created, into helping. I want to know how you got to that point where you shifted this service. So let's start with Serendipity. What's that?
Okay, so Serendipity is a PR and branding agency that I started 18 years ago. And we helped brands really come to life and differentiate themselves in saturated spaces. So it's kind of really aligns with healthcare because it's very saturated, right?
Yeah.
I've always had this like marketing and training background. Ironically, my first position before I started Serendipity was traveling around the country, developing a marketing plan, and then training a team to execute.
Yeah.
So I, grew my business, and I was seeing all these founders that are like super high performers, and not only personally and in their like organizational life were just a mess and overwhelmed and didn't have 1 minute of free time, but they were really struggling managing their in-house marketing director because no one on their team knew anything about marketing. They would just hire someone and expect them to fill this role and take them from, 0 to 100, and it just wasn't working, right? So I ironically hired a virtual assistant through Virtual Rockstar about a year and a half ago, and she changed my life. Like, I could get tears in my eyes how magical Jackie is in my life. And now she's a part of my family. My kids talk to her every morning, but she literally runs everything administratively for me and for Serendipity. Personally, she's ordering my groceries. She's organizing my kids' soccer. And then she came to me and she's like, I need more, Lex. Like, what else can you give me?
Yeah, what employee does that, by the way? It's one of those things where it's like, again, I don't want to rip on employees because I'm an employee of my own company. So I could be talking about myself on this. But I'm just saying, culturally speaking, that's not a common attribute that we find is people going, what else can I do for you today?
Yeah, no, it's so funny because I was taught to do that when I was growing up for my grandpa. Like,
yes,
always ask for more, and that's how you'll rise up.
As a side note, your grandpa was incredibly successful. He owned this. He was a part of this massive distribution in California.
Yeah.
So you were learning from the best. You had a really cool entrepreneurial heritage through but you learned that. That's not something most of us learn. Like marketing, most of us who start our businesses, we know the thing that we're selling, whether it's a service or a product, right? In healthcare, it's always our time. But like marketing, it's a whole universe. It's not like this checklist of things like, your morning routine. It's a whole like industry that requires expertise. So yeah, I love that you were in that space helping other people before you found Jackie.
Yeah. And then Jackie, so she's like, I need more. And I'm like, what if we give her a marketing client? Like, what if we start, having her support like an account manager within our business, and she can, ironically, I didn't put her behind the scenes. I introduced her to my clients. I said, Jackie will be help supporting, and she's going to add amplification to your account. So she's going to help you engage on social media, which your team's not doing. So I'm going to offer that to you. And then she's going to help put together the content for your email blasts and social media. And she's just going to help bring ideas. So I started coaching Jackie, and all of our clients were seeing phenomenal success.
I didn't know that Jackie was actually doing these marketing elements for your team. Like you trained her to be a marketer essentially.
Yeah.
For multiple high-level companies. Some of your past clients, can I mention?
Yeah, sure.
Massage Envy, right?
Well, actually, not Massage Envy. The founders of Massage Envy started Modern Acupuncture.
Oh,
so
I see.
we did that franchise. Orange Theory, Hydrate AV. We've done a lot in the wellness space from the franchise level, supporting them.
Yes.
So yeah, we trained Jackie, and I was shocked at the results, the stuff she was producing, and she was so cool and curious. She wanted to learn more. So on her own time, she was also bringing us cool ideas like, hey, did you know this algorithm changed? Or did you know this happened? And I'm going to implement this for the business. So I'm like, oh my God, how cool would it be if we could train more people like Jackie and then place them in businesses? Because the other thing is, well, if you hire a marketing manager in the United States, the minimum, like almost out of school, is about $60,000. So that's a lot of money for a small business, let alone a big business. And you don't just need a marketing manager, you need a marketing director.
Yes.
So that's another 80 to 100 grand to coach that person.
Yeah.
So we started doing this, and we've been placing talented people through Virtual Rockstar, and then we have an awesome onboarding system. We onboard them. They learn all of the tricks and trades from marketing, executive assistant, sales, and then we're coaching them on a monthly basis. And we have this amazing community that we're putting content and resources for them to stay up to date all the time.
Okay, so Alexis, listen, this all sounds great, but I have to ask, can someone from the Philippines at that lower price point really do the same job as someone in the United States?
Sadly, yes.
Why do you say sadly?
I don't want to say sadly because, I feel like we're always about employing, American workers and trying to feed our economy.
Yes.
But I have to say, again, I've had an agency where I had 38 employees, and I haven't in a long time, there's always those standout employees, right?
Always.
But for the majority, like I said, I haven't had employees come to me and say, I need more. I haven't had employees, the majority don't come to you and anticipate your needs and are, at your desk 5 minutes before and are like laid everything out for you. It's transfer. I think it's that servant culture we talked about. It's just, it lights them up to make you happy and to see you freed up. She's, when I say, thank you so much, Jackie, you made it so easy. She's like, oh, I'm so, her smile, she's just so happy.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think the key thing here is leadership.
Yeah.
Because humans are humans. 2 points you mentioned I want to quickly hit. One of them was this idea of hiring American. I am all about that. As a matter of fact, when we started this journey for me, I hired only Americans for my medical billing company. And that was my partner's whole passion. She's like, we are never going to hire outside of the United States. And then with the margins of profitability being almost zero and the difficulty and honestly a degree of entitlement that we found across those employees, it was there were definitely rock stars in the United States, but it was so challenging. My partner came to me and said, let's make America an ideal, not a location. Let's see if we can help entrepreneurship conscious capitalism be the common vehicle that helps rise our tide. And so we piloted the program, which is what turned into my company. So very similar story in that regard is that we have that element, but it comes back to leadership and training. If they have the right training and mentorship, they can become unbelievable. And in my case, where before I even thought of Vamped was just a gleam in your eye, I hired 2 people to do this podcast. I hired 2 people who are going to be watching and editing and producing all the social media content. They've been with me over a year. A year and a half ago, I had nothing in terms of any podcasts. Now I have 2 podcasts. We're launching a 3rd.
Oh, awesome.
Both of them, and this is a humble brag, but like I'm bragging on them.
Yeah.
Without them, this would have never happened. But both podcasts are in the top 15% of downloads in the world for podcasts. And exactly a year ago right now, I had less than 5,000 followers across all my social media channels. And as of today, across all of them, we're somewhere between 130 and 150,000.
That's awesome.
In a year. And this was me giving it, and they didn't have the mentorship of what you can do. And I got lucky in that regard because I'm good at hiring, but it's one of those where when you have someone who's just really passionate with an Alexis and a Vamped, that's where we see this transformation because listen, you hire on mindset, you train on skill set. You have to have the leadership for skill set, which is what you guys have.
Yeah. And I have to say, so going back to the employee base, so our coaches are, expert marketers that have been with me for over 15 years.
Wow.
So they've worked with Serendipity by my side, and they trained and mentored other people within Serendipity. And I knew that they were going to be perfect to be coaches because they had my same mindset where they light up when their client is succeeding. Like their win is their client making more money. Their win is their client becoming more famous and really serving their purpose. So
Yes.
That's why I picked those coaches. So I feel like it bleeds out into the training where we know our coaches know the businesses that the VAs are supporting. So we're bringing those ideas and when you're a true marketer, like when you're walking down the street, I see something, I take a picture, I'm like, oh, we got to send it to that business. It's like your brain is always thinking in that direction. So I think that's also the advantage is we're not just leadership coaches, we're true passionate marketers that we want to, like our win is our clients succeeding. So
yes. And speaking of that, I'd love to hear, you shared with me a story about a client succeeding recently, and I want you to share that on air so that people can get a sense of what this is like. Because as of the filming of this, how many clients do you guys have at Vamped?
We have 15.
So yeah, this is a relatively new program, but it's well vetted. It's kind of the perfect stage right now. So tell me about that recent story that you shared with me. I'd love to hear that again on air about the individual who felt like they got that outreach and personalization.
Yeah. So I have 2 stories because one is, and she's amazing, and she's supporting my old employer who, Jeff Swenson, I love you, but you are very hard to work for. He's such a sweet man. He is the epitome of a visionary. Like he is just all
big
over the
picture, super fast, all the
so
things.
smart. He's got 3 companies, but he's like really changing the world of trucking. So, and what a unique niche, right? So for someone to come in and like dive in and support him is going to be really hard. So I actually had a call with her yesterday and she was in tears and she's like, Alexis, I have to tell you that I've worked for other agencies, like placement agencies, like Virtual Rockstar, for example.
Sure.
But they've just placed me and I never talked to them, never had support. It was like, and that's why I don't think I lasted long term. She's like, this community is so incredible. She's like, the things that you're putting in the Vamped community, I'm watching the webinars. I feel like I'm learning every day. And she's like, and the fact that I can literally text you and you respond right back to me with a question. She's like, I feel like I'm not on an island. She's like, I'm working in the middle of the night and I feel like I have this whole team that's supporting me. So it's really cool because they also had a big goal of getting subscribers to their program.
Sure.
And, it was minimal. And they've gotten 76 in the last month with our social media coach coaching her on how to work with influencers, what that flow is, and they're not even putting money behind it. And now they're about to put money behind it. So, I just get lit up because also Jeff is near to my heart.
So
and I'm happy to see him
win
succeed.
is such a big thing. That's awesome.
And then another one of our clients, when we started with them, they barely had any followers on Instagram and 0 engagement, like one little heart.
Yeah.
And in the first month, our VA helped them, increased their followers by 400, and they had a 350% increase in engagement.
Wow.
So they're opening new clinics, they're driving new hires. It's actually a good friend of yours too in Seattle. So I won't mention his name. Yeah.
Very cool. So let's talk about what you specifically do, because people who are listening to this are like, okay, I get the idea. Hiring overseas is great. It solves a marketing problem, but what does that actually mean for me? What are some of the actual applications that these marketing VAs do? Like you mentioned social media. Can you just kind of list like things that you've seen successfully applied from a marketing angle, since that's such a large word, into actual tactical benefit to these business owners?
Well, like you said, you have 2 people supporting you on your podcast, right?
Yeah.
I don't think
Podcasts.
I don't think business owners realize the amount of work that social media is to truly be successful.
Yes.
So in their mind, they're like, oh, I have to post, I have to make a reel, and I have to just put it out there. That is not what it is. Okay, so you have to create the content, the concept, you have to film it, you have to edit it, then you have to create the graphics, post it to how many different platforms, and then you can't just post it. You have to engage. So this person, again, their hourly rate is a little bit different. So they can spend that time of liking other accounts, commenting, really doing what social media is supposed to do, like the social aspect of it. So they're getting that traction organically because they're actually doing what they're supposed to do.
Interesting.
And they're being coached by our coaches to know the trending audio, the algorithm changes, like all those little things that just help amplify their social media. We're also coaching them on, CRMs, email systems, like what that nurturing system looks like. So again, a lot of people just say, 1 email newsletter and it's done. We're helping them build a true educational system so their clients feel engaged, and then that sale is so much easier, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's funny. We're listening to this and we're talking about social media. Maybe people who own medical practices are like, yeah, I don't really see that as a big thing. It's like, listen, as a healthcare entrepreneur myself who had 5 locations, and I'm cutting edge on I have time. This is what I do now. I'm trying to help the industry. If we're not doing social media, we're not going to recruit. Well, we're definitely missing millions of patient visits, because direct-to-consumer marketing, people like Gary Vee, who wrote his book, Day Trading Attention, like all these things, like the studies and research, we are in a marketing golden age because of social media. And marketing is how we get new clients and new hires for all of you who are desperately looking for clinicians or hires. So the right social media strategy can be a 10x conservatively on that investment for a virtual assistant. And here's what's so funny. You and I are talking about this podcast thing. I know all these things. I've taken podcast courses and all these elements. Social media. I'm sorry, you were talking about social media, but I was thinking about my podcast. Isabel, who's my podcast, my social media manager. She's amazing. I know she could benefit from Vamped. I think it would be good to have her sign up into Vamped, because there's some of the things that that I don't know.
Yeah, like we were talking about Spotify's new algorithm and the SEO and all that.
Yeah, Sab's not, her name is, she goes by Sab, Isabel, but Sab is genius, and what a great investment into her to put her into Vamped. So we'll talk about that off air.
Okay.
Because I think it'd be really cool to have her in that space and getting that information of all right, so how can I grow the podcast? Because she's engaging already, but I don't think she's engaging in other podcasts or other social media accounts or those types of things that would help draw across attention and growth.
Yeah, and we're actually teaching. So we have another client in Seattle who launched a new clinic. She also launched a training program. So we're also helping the VAs learn how to pitch their clients to be on other podcasts and to pitch them in the media as well.
Which is huge.
Which is, again, I own a PR and marketing firm, and I know what people pay us, and it's just the investment in that coaching is we're looking at the pitches, we're helping them find the lists, we're helping them find the right podcast to pitch them, because all that amplification, it all winds together and makes them so much more successful, which is cool.
Yeah.
And then I have to tell you the executive assistant thing, because
we're talking so much about marketing, but Vamped is marketing and executive or personal assistant.
Yes.
This is a game-changing thing.
Game changer. I'm a mom, and I tell you, Jackie makes me a better mom because I'm happier, and I'm not so overwhelmed in my head with the 9,000 things I need to do of booking appointments and for our kids and getting ready for the soccer tournaments and all this stuff. We went to a soccer tournament in Utah a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the night before, I get this pretty little graphic from Jackie, and it's this PDF of our hotel, where we're staying, the links, the phone numbers, everything about the tournament, directions, all of that, and then a packing list. I forgot to pack sunscreen. And she had sunscreen on there.
my
I know that's
gosh.
like a bad mom thing, but she had a reminder.
But for the record, I don't think it's a bad mom thing. I think that's a normal thing. Like beating your kid with it, that would be a bad mom thing.
But I was like, oh, I forgot sunscreen. So I added it to my bag, and I had that little PDF on my screen, and it was like everything I needed for the weekend right there. And just that was magical for me. But the other thing she's doing is, I mean, we've created grocery lists on Amazon. So she every Monday will ask me, Lex, are we adding standard or what else do you need? Can I send you recipes? And then she just hits buy. And I know that's so simple, but it's like it takes this pressure off you as being a mom and a high performing CEO. Like, it's really hard to do both.
It is really hard. And my executive assistant, Kim, I mention her all the time. She has changed my life in so many ways, personally, professionally. I travel with a fraction of the stress I used to because everything gets handled for me, but even down to like special projects that I can't really give anyone else that just require a lot of data and research. She'll jump on those. She is a very powerful influence and has been everywhere in my world. And so same thing, they become a part of your family in a way that we couldn't afford to do as a small business owner otherwise. I think it's not just for business owners, it's for leaders and business owners. We have clients, common clients. So people, the way it works, guys, if you're wondering, rock stars, is that people who are looking for this training will hire the VA through me, through Virtual Rockstar, and then they go to Vamped. It feels very fluid and very easy. And then you train them on being a marketing and or personal assistant. And so that's powerful. Do you train each person for both of those? Or do you find that you train one for some people, it's just marketing, some people it's just personal assistant, or is it usually a combination of those
Usually
two?
a combination, but we really work with the client to say like, oh, I'm really heavy on executive assistant. So really the marketing, we'll just have them go through the branding part. So the branding is more understanding voice, tone, understanding the company that they're supporting so they're using the right language, because that's a big thing. If they're going to be managing their emails, they need to know and really be aware of that tone of voice and like professionalism or, how they can communicate, and they need to understand the company. They need to understand mission, vision, like what makes that company who it is. So we do customize it a little bit. The other thing I think is great, we have a team right now of sales reps, and they are thriving right now.
You're expanding and training sales and marketing.
Sales and marketing. But this is actually for healthcare sales reps. So they are selling product, and they're like, I'm great I can sell all day long. Okay. But I hate expense reports. I hate booking travel. I hate buying my team gifts.
Yeah.
I want to buy my team gifts.
I don't have time.
I don't have time. And they are thriving. So all of that like back end work, when you're on the road as a sales rep, you're driving from doctor's office to doctor's office. And when do you have your personal time is kind of when you're doing the admin, like logging your visits. And they say as they're driving, they have them on the like driving from office to office, telling them what to log, when to send the gifts, all of that. And it makes you kind of 10x your productivity as well.
Yeah. So we look at the book, Buy Back Your Time. Dan Martell goes through this formula that I'm going to quickly go through to help people understand if this is a good fit for them. And in this formula, he talks about what our time is worth and how we step over dollars to pick up dimes with our time all the time because we're just not even aware. We just have this unending pile of crap that we have to get to. And so we just are every day, we're just trying to get through it, but we don't pause and realize that if we just took a second and sharpened the axe, we would cut down the tree quicker. And so the way we do that is by knowing how much of our time is worth what we're doing. And the way we figure that out is we take our salary, for many people, you can't take your actual salary because maybe they're not making anything, but you take like what you think you should be making. Mm-hmm. And if anyone owns a company, that needs to at least be $150,000, $200,000 a year. Mm-hmm. And then you divide that number by 2,000. There's 2,080 hours in a year. And so that comes up with the number of dollars per hour. That's how much that salary is in terms of your compensation per hour. So you take that number and divide it by 4. Anything below that, you are wasting money and your life by not giving that to another human being. And this whole concept of having someone hired and trained to do those things that maybe you feel embarrassed to give to somebody else because you're like, who would want to do this? This is life-changing money for people overseas. It's a life-changing opportunity to meet them, the partners. So yeah, if they can start, it's amazing how that freedom cycle starts going the opposite direction. They get more freedom. They start to feel more love. They start making better decisions. They start making more money, and that virtual assistant's right there with them.
Well, think about it. We do this in other aspects of our lives, right? We hire a landscaper to help us because we don't have 3 hours to tend to the backyard every weekend because we want to spend it with our kids. We hire a housekeeper to help with that. So we plug in all these systems everywhere else in our lives. I think sometimes people feel guilty to add that add that in their actual like career because they think I should be doing that task or I should be able to handle it all. Or even moms, like, I should be able to order the groceries. Guess what?
Yeah, moms are supposed to cook.
Yeah.
Men are supposed to fix stuff around the house. If people legitimately have passion and get energy from that and love it and look forward to it, I say great.
Yeah.
But I have been so passionate about outsourcing everything that I don't absolutely love down to and then VAs have helped me do all of it. They literally have been an essential part of the entire flow. So when someone's like, okay, so someone's listening to this, they're like, okay, so I would love an executive assistant and learn more about that, or a marketing assistant. How do they get a hold of you, Alexis? How do people move forward in this process?
Well, they can go to vampedva.com and start the process, or they can go to Virtual Rockstar if they don't have a virtual assistant, and then we'll add on the training. And it's an integrated interview process. We're working with your team along the way to make sure that whatever role we're filling, we're really screening them with you guys. And we're recommending on the marketing side, like this person would be great because they're passionate about it. We can tell in that interview. So, I mean, I've been blown away with the talent that your team is sourcing lately. I have to tell you.
We're very blessed. You know, we just hit our 250th employee. It's been an incredible experience. Our retention is unbelievable. So we're doing the hiring right. But the biggest complaint has always been like, hey, Will, can you train them for us? And I'm like, no, we're the sourcing. And then we don't just like let people go. We stay in touch with them through Denise. She's there 30, 60, 90 days. She's checking in on an annual basis. We do a lot on the back end just from the relationship perspective. If we started pivoting into training, which we really considered, it would have been detrimental. It's a totally different business. And I'm realizing now why. What if listen, I could definitely develop the training for outpatient medical practices, but where people need the most help is their personal time, executive assistant, and in marketing. Because if you can get more new patients and new hires and not spend time doing it, and you have more time yourself, really, what problems do you have at that point?
Yeah, I mean, I have to tell you, we love the training and coaching piece because I love that, like, what Ange said, she's like, I've had so many aha moments lately that she's like, I wouldn't even think that I needed to know that. And it's really rewarding for me. And then, you know, I've read that book, Unreasonable Hospitality, if you read it.
I love that book, yeah.
I feel like I've already operated my life in that way of like over-giving and just trying to stand out. But I feel like that is something too, we're trying to train everyone in the executive assistant piece is like offer that, like, go above and beyond for your executive and you will be with them for life because again, it's so magical when you can sit back and go, oh my gosh, I get to spend an extra hour with my kid. I mean, it's
oh my
so
gosh,
cool.
And so many little fires. We just did a conference together and we got there and the hotel reservation was different for one of my employees. And so I was about to board the plane and I gave it to Kim and Kim did all the things that she was supposed to do that we could have done before I got there. I just said, hey, Kim, we're in this position. They are literally there for us in such a passionate way that it just helps us become more powerful. But then you can give back to these people. These are people we're building. So I love Vamped. By the way, to be clear, audience, if you have a VA and you're listening to this and you're not working with Rockstar, you can still reach out to Vamped directly. If you already have a VA through Rockstar and you're interested in this, this is an easy process. We have lots of clients who are upgrading to this new level. And then, it's just a powerful thing to be able to do that. Because I think, again, if we can help free up their personal time and increase their income through marketing and recruiting, it's just, I don't know what else to say. Like, what other buttons are there that you have that you need fixed in healthcare or in wellness companies?
Well, I gave $25 gift cards to like the Filipino Amazon for everyone in Vamped for Christmas. And I just said, because Jackie told me that's like buying 25 coffees for them at Starbucks. I'm like, oh gosh, that's amazing. So
that money goes so far over there.
I know. I was like, 25. Geez, our Starbucks, that could buy two.
Yeah, totally.
And just the kind word, it's just like, they're so grateful. And that makes me happy too. I've always loved any way I can give back. And if we can help other people's families thrive, like that lights me up, you know?
Okay. Well, Alexis, listen, is there anything that we haven't talked about that we should cover before we let our audience get back to the fun and excitement of life?
I think I'm going to say one thing. I have hired, not to shamelessly plug you again, but I have hired virtual assistants in my past through other agencies. And I have never seen the talent that you guys are bringing. And it's really phenomenal. So I have to say, and from other countries I've hired, and just the results that I have with Jackie, I have to thank you. I have to thank you.
We're a good partnership. I feel the same way about you. I've known you for decades. And the marketing genius that you are, it's so fun to see that's transferable. But the part I love the most, I mean, that's great because that has to work for it to work. But the thing I love the most is seeing how our shared partners and their shared VAs are getting wins.
Yeah.
Because unlike other things we do in business, we invest in certain parts of our company and there's kind of this trust that it does help the bottom line. When we invest in our personal time in marketing, the ROI is so easy to measure. So for us, it's the speed of the wins has been the coolest part for me. Like being able to find someone in a week, trained and functional within a few weeks after that, and then continuing to scale and grow and watching these people make more money, have more time. It's like, I just know I'm doing the right thing. It feels so great to doing it with you. So thank you, Alexis, for being a part of this journey with me.
Well, I want to say one other thing because I think it's so funny. When I'm on these group interviews, again, we're meeting this incredible talent, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm like a matchmaker. So
yes.
I write down all the people on the interview and I call my friends and I'm like, I have someone for you. You can't live without this person. They have real estate experience. You need to hire them. So I feel like that's the other great part about this talent pool that you're bringing. I'm constantly thinking who I can place them with to help my friends.
Yeah, man. It's a game changer to help us help each other because in the end, we're all in this together. The only way we all win is if we all win.
I agree.
I love that. Well, Alexis, thank you for being on the show. It's been so great to have you here.
Thank you, Will. It's so great to be here.
Yeah. Rockstars, thanks for tuning in. We sure appreciate you taking time out of your day to be here. And as always, please remember that if you aren't leading with love, you're leaving something on the table. Until next time.